So today I'm going to discuss an example of how a very popular Western government actually accused its own citizens and poor citizens of fraudulently. I'm going to discuss the Dutch gate, also known as the Toeslagen scandal or the Toeslagen affair, and thanks to one of my viewers who brought this to my attention, a very important topic. The reason why I think this is important and the reason why I am bringing this up for discussion is because I get a lot of commentary and a lot of people talk about, you got to be careful, you have to follow the law, you have to, always do the right things. Absolutely, you have to always. There's a second set of theory where, let's say you make a mistake, right? Or there's a lapse in judgment, or we are all human beings, right? Bound to errors, bound to mistakes. So let's say we did an unintentional mistake which attributes to something really bad, let's say a crime. And in that case, you lose access, right? You lose access to new residencies, new citizenships. There are police records, police reports required from everywhere. So even by mistake, you cannot afford to make a mistake, right? Because then that consequently affects your whole life. So you have to be careful, right? That's how life works. Now, there's a third circumstances where you don't make mistakes, right? You don't make mistakes. You follow the laws, you follow the rules. You're always clean, you have not done anything wrong. So one might think nothing's bad ever going to happen with you. But guess what? This case is exactly that, where you follow the laws, you follow the rules, you made no mistakes, but the state came behind you. It incentivized you to take some benefits, and then they came and they accused you of fraudulently, meaning they committed a fraud to fraudulently accuse you and tag you in some cases as a criminal. So before we discuss this in depth, if you're new to my channel, my name is Jay, and here we discuss different residencies and citizenships and Plan B options. Now, when you're talking about governments, of late, let's talk about this example, a very well-known, very popular Western government, right? The tax authority. So you trust them to make right decisions, you trust them for protection, etc. So what happened in this case, and this we're talking about the Dutch, right? So in this case, the tax authorities or the administration in this case incentivized poor families, with children to avail benefits. So let's say they're needy families, their children need some benefits. You have a government program which can support you. So you genuinely go ahead, read the rules, qualify, and apply for benefits. Now they receive the benefits, they use the benefits. Now the government comes back and then picks a time frame, right? 2012 to 2019, I believe, is the time frame where they accused more than 26,000 families of committing fraud. They penalized them, they criminalized them in some cases. They had to pay back tens of thousands of dollars in fines and penalties. Now, the fines and penalties is only one type of financial hardships that they had to go through. But then what also happens is you cannot get any further benefits. Let's say if you're tagged as a criminal, you cannot get residencies, you cannot get citizenships. In a lot of cases, you can't even earn because no one will give you a job, because guess what? Your police reports and background checks and all of that fun stuff will claim you and tag you as a criminal, the crime which you never committed, right? So this is that third circumstances which is unplanned for. Anything can happen, right? Even in a Western country, even in a developed country, let alone the developing or less developed countries. So this is one substantial reason why, no matter where you are, there are governments, there are administrations who want to get you, right? In some cases. And mind you, a big disclaimer, in this case, it's not to criticize the administration or the authorities. It's some corrupt officials within the administration. When they get the authority, they can prosecute innocent, honest, genuine citizens, which may tag them to be criminals. Luckily, in this case, the courts or the authorities investigated this case and found that the tax authority officials committed crime or committed fraud in this case by accusing poor innocent families. There were remedies. This could happen in a Western country, but if you're not from a developed country where your voices can be heard, just imagine there are millions of such scenarios which get unnoticed, justice isn't done, and you lose your access for life. And that is the reason why it's very important to keep in mind, you need to have insurance in place against the government, right? The government can come up with any rules, and those rules are the rules of law. You have to follow that. Sometimes a lot of governments implement rules retroactively, meaning they allow you to do something, and guess what? In future, they go back in time, enforce the rule, and you become tagged as a criminal in certain cases. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying there's a good chance that that could happen, and you need to be protected. And the best way of protection is planting your flags, getting securities, which is establishing residencies, getting new citizenships, multiple citizenships, so you have your pillars of protection in place before someone can come for you. And if someone comes for you illegally, then you have the protection to go there, travel there, fight your case out, and seek that ultimate freedom that you want, so you can get back on track. So that's the insurance that we're talking about. So this scandal and this article is well published all over the internet. There's the link in the description to the Wikipedia, to the source of some of this information. You can take a look. And the Dutch in general is a beautiful country, great advantages. This unfortunately is a very terrible incident, but otherwise the country in general is amazing. One of my favorite options. Their passport is super strong. So there are some great things about the Dutch that that one should consider. And a quick disclaimer, this is not immigration, legal, financial, or tax advice. This is educational content informing you of what's out there and what can happen in life in general. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, and see you in the next one.